Kevin Tharp. Today, what we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through, essentially it's an overview of the marketing funnel. And so what we're going to talk about is the ABCs of the marketing funnel. So the A is acquisition. The B is behavior. And the C is conversion. So that's what we're going to be talking about. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at the marketing funnel and how these things play into that marketing funnel. So when we're talking about the marketing funnel, what you start with is you have got a user, a person or group of people. Generally, we're thinking about groups of people, but we're really targeting individuals. So what you start with is you've got somebody over here that you would like to have using your site and accomplishing whatever your goal is for them. So you have a goal for this person, and that goal is to sell a product or sign up for a newsletter or whatever it is that your goal is. That's what you want them to do. And there may be a whole bunch of these people out there. And so what you've got to do is you've got to go from here, which is where your user is. You want this person, and what you want to do is you want to bring them to the point where they have accomplished whatever your goal is. So this is the spot that you want to get that user to. How do you do this? At this point, that person may not even know who you are or that you exist, but they know that they have some kind of a need. And what you have is a goal for your website, because really if you don't, and it's not just websites, I use the term website because that's what I'm used to working with. It's where a lot of stuff happens, especially e-commerce. But you've got a goal for your website. They have a need. And ultimately, the idea is that what you want to do is you want to connect them and their need to your goal so that everybody wins. And that is ultimately why we're out there marketing. How do we get to the people that we want to get to and do it in a way that allows them to help us to accomplish our goals at the same time as they accomplish their goals? And so there's different ways to do this. The first thing that you need to do is you need to take them from them not being aware of your presence to getting them to where at least you can get them to your properties so that they can start to understand what you're doing. So in this acquisition area, this is where our A is. We've got the acquisition area, and what that is any number of kinds of things that you might be doing. You might be putting out pay-per-click ads. You might be doing pay-per-click ads. You might have any kind of campaigns. This is where your campaigns come in. And a campaign is a way of trying to get somebody from not knowing who you are to the point where they're able to come through this process. You might, like I said, you might be doing pay-per-click. You might be putting out blogs. A lot of people do content marketing, and content marketing is a way to, if I did a search for instance, one of the things I write about is rocket stoves. If I did a search for rocket stoves, hopefully you would find my blog where I'm talking about rocket stoves, and then you would come into my website. And at that point, you go from being somebody I don't know to somebody who has entered my sphere of content or what I'm using to try and get you over to this goal. And so what I've done there is I have gone through the process of acquisition by allowing you to find my content that will then bring you onto my site. There's a lot of different ways you can do this. You can do this with apps. You can do this with print ads. You can do it with billboards. You can do it really any kind of medium that you want, where you're putting out some kind of a message that's going to bring them to your site. And then what happens is what we talk about is the marketing funnel. And a marketing funnel is from this side where people go from being strangers to people who you are aware of. There could be any number of places where they come in here. It could be on the home page of your website. It could be on a landing page of your website. Say I was trying to sell chimneys for rocket stoves. I might have a special page on chimneys. That might be a landing page that is specifically targeted to people who are trying to buy these chimneys. Now let me clear that out of there so that it's not in my way. But it might be a landing page. It might be your app, or it could be any number of things. But we'll talk today about your digital presence just to kind of keep it simpler. But wherever this person may have landed, it could be in any of these places. But what you got to remember is our ultimate goal is to try and move them from wherever they're at to the point where they get to the page where whatever you have as the goal is accomplished. So it might be a shopping cart, it might be a place where they give you their contact information, whatever the case may be. But the way that we do that is we go through a series of increasingly smaller options for them to get there. So you might have a web page in here that several of these are linked to. You might have a couple of different options here of web pages or pages where they come into. And what these are doing, and the reason we call it a funnel, is if you think about a funnel and you can see these lines here, what a funnel does is it narrows people down to get them to the point where you want them. So if you're a hunter, you might be familiar with using natural funnels as places where whatever you're hunting for are going to naturally go through. And so what it is it's sort of creating pinch points, narrowing it down. This might be, say, a shopping cart. So this might actually be a micro goal. So there are probably micro goals along the way, different places where you want them to get. And so you're moving them in this process towards where you're wanting them to go. And ultimately, they come out in here. So when we're talking about acquisition, the reports that we are looking at are those reports that will take that person from being here to the point where they have somehow become aware of you, so you've become aware of each other. And so when we're talking about acquisition reports, that's what we're looking at, is those things that allow that prospective user to enter into your realm and become a person that you are known. That you know them, they know you. And that gives you the ability to market to them as well and move them either in this same session or in multiple sessions because as I was mentioning, this may have happened out here in a print ad. It may have happened in an app, any number of places, and all of those things are still trying to get them into this location where they are in your presence, they're known to you, and you're able to start directly marketing to them. So at that point, you have acquired them as a user, and they are in your system. Let me clean this up just a little bit. Get some of the noise out of the way. And so what we're looking at is we have this position where we have acquired them. And then the next stage that we come to is the behavior stage. And so the behavior stage is after they have entered your properties for the first time. You already know who they are. They come into one of these pages, and then what you're going to do is you're going to use the behavior reports to see what exactly they are doing when they're on your site. So let's say that it came into that location. We've got all of these different places that are available for them to interact with. And so what we want them to do is to move down this. And so they may come here, and then they may come back over here, and then they may skip all the way to here, or they may actually come in here, or if you have a landing page that, say you're trying to sell that, that chimney for a rocket stove, if you have a landing page that is right there as a micro goal, they may come and they may bypass all the rest of these and come straight to that. So there's a lot of different ways that they can come in. And so what the behavior reports allow you to do is to see, once they have entered your content area, what is it that they do, and ultimately, do they come in here? Because this is the magic place. This is where your goal happens. And until they do that, again, you may have micro goals, but this is where your goal is really happening. This is where you're trying to get them to go. So up until they get to that point, that is what you're looking at when you're talking about behavior goals. Now, the C that we're talking about is conversion. And so the conversion is looking at those reports that allow you to see, did this person actually make it here? How did they make it here? Where did they drop off? The conversion goals is how many of these people and in what ways are they actually doing whatever you had set out as the goal. So this is, again, this is called the marketing funnel. There are people who would say that we shouldn't think of funnels anymore, but the idea is still there. What they're saying is that there should be, instead of just a funnel approach, if you create landing pages that are appropriate, you can get them straight to where you want them to be. Say it's here, that gets them so you don't have to bring them through all these steps. Comes right here, say from an ad or a search result, brings you to a landing page that's already near the end of the funnel where you can just quickly convert them. There's different ideas about this, different people talking about different things. But the important thing to remember is that we are talking about the ABCs. You've got your acquisition, your behavior reports, and your conversion reports. And this is where the reports that are in Google Analytics or similar analytics packages, this is the way that they stack up, and each one is for addressing a different aspect of what we're going to be doing in there. That's all I've got for today. I'm Kevin Tharp. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.